Today I'm going to show you how to take an SVG and add it to a curved STL. So let's get cracking. So super quick, this is the Tinkercad subreddit. I highly recommend it. A user said, hey, how do I add an image to an STL? Well, this STL is simply a cylinder. I'm assuming you want the image here and I don't have the STL, but I'm still going to show you a technique. This is Tinkercad.com. We're going to simply click over here and make a 3D design. I'm going to start by naming it, and I'm going to call it cooler, and click down here. And like I said, it's simply a cylinder. I'm going to bring this out and set it at the 0, 0 mark. I'm going to use Alt and Shift, so when I stretch it, it grows all the way around. And now it's a reasonable size for that cooler. I am going to make it round. Now let's grab an SVG file. I'm going to simply hit Import, choose File, and I'm going to grab the Circle HLModTech YouTube file. I'm going to pick Art. I'm going to make this 60 on a side. You can pick whatever numbers you want. I just know that that's a decent size, and choose Import. Now the one funny thing is because I've got this oriented as it does, it is going to show up underneath here. Notice it was peeking out so that way we can see it. Now that we've got our file, let me show you how to get it on our shape. First, I'm going to stand it up. Notice if you stay inside these lines, it's 22.5 degrees per turn. Hold Shift and it snaps 45 degrees per turn. If you make a mistake, like I let go, you can just do Control Z to undo. Once again, Shift Rotate 2 clicks and it's standing up. D drops it to the work plane. This would be a little larger than our fake thermos, so I'm going to Shift squeeze it down and make it a little bit smaller. All right, so here's where it gets fun. Let me show you how we're going to match these together. First, I'm going to do Control D because I know I want that to be the shape that it fits. I'm going to make this quite a bit deeper. I'm going to select the two shapes, choose L for a line, and I just want it to be centered. And I'm going to put it to the front edge, and just for giggles, I'll move it up, even though that doesn't change anything. Now, when we grab those two shapes and do Control I to intersect, it makes an exact copy that follows the front of the shape. If we grab the two now, choose L for a line, and choose center. I'll keep that center, and I'm going to go right to the front edge. But now I can click on this, and I can nudge it out a millimeter, 2 millimeters, whatever you want, so that you've got your logo added to the STL you were working with. All right, so if we quickly hit T for transparent, you can see that sticks in there too far. But check it out, we can trim this. I'm going to do Control D. I'm going to make the second one a hole. I'm going to back it up 1 millimeter. I'm going to Shift select our SVG, and when we do Control G to group, I'm going to do T to make that solid again. We have got a good connection, and our shape is now trimmed. How cool is that? Real quickly, T for transparent, and let's do top view so you can get a better look at that. Don't forget you can always go to flat view and fit view so you can see just how well it truly is connecting. I'm going to go back to perspective, look at it from a corner, and let me show you a couple other cool tricks. First, same project with a cylinder, cuts that into a single piece. First, I'm going to type a radius of 30 because this was size 60. I'm going to make the height the same, or same-ish. And then I'm going to set the wall to 2. I just duplicated my part. Let's ungroup it. I'm going to delete this piece, and I'm going to ungroup this from the intersect. And then I'm just going to show you how we can take these two and do this entire set of steps in one step. First, I'm going to make the maximum size so it's smooth. Then we're going to simply Shift select L for a line, make this one the boss, center, center, and front. And when we do Control I to intersect, now we've got it with the correct thickness in a single step. How cool is that? All right, so I'm going to get my nudge back to 1, and just let me show you something super cool here. We're going to bring out Sketch Revolve, set it right at 0, 0, and then I'm going to make a super simple pencil cup. It is going to be the same 6 centimeters or 60 millimeters. So if I go out 20, that's 40. I'm going to press number 2, and I'm going to move over 10 more. I'm going to click, hold, and twist. And I want to make sure these are going straight up. See how this makes real elegant curves? You can find the spot that you like. I'm gonna choose that right there. And then I'm gonna go up 6 centimeters. So I've got 1 plus the 5. If I hit escape, that stops, and you can see our measurements, 30 by 60. When I hit finish sketch, we have just made a fun, I'm gonna call it pencil cup. I'm gonna take this and maximize the sides so it's most smooth. Check out how we can add fancy text to it. If you go to your creations, check it out. I've got a tutorial. I'll put the bit.ly right here that shows you how to add all sorts of amazing reusable fonts. Right now, I'm gonna grab the Bluey font. I'm gonna bring it out, and if you hit ungroup, bang, you can change this to say whatever you want. I'm gonna change it to do wow. I do wanna add an exclamation point. I'm gonna press enter. I'm gonna leave that alone for a second, and I'm gonna take this and do Control D, and I'm gonna move it over. Now remember how we want our text to poke out? We're gonna do it by just adjusting our shape. If I click on this, I can edit these, double click. I'm only gonna grab these 3 points. I'm gonna make it a 0.5 millimeter wider with 1 nudge. When I hit finish sketch, this one is now gonna be on the outside of this by a 0.5 millimeter. Let's get our text lined up the way we want. When we click on it, I'm gonna choose 55 for the measurement for the inside. Because our shape had a diameter of 60, I want the arc to be 160, and I want the thickness of this to be 10 so that I'm sure I've got room on both sides. Let's line these up. L for align. This one's the boss. Center, center, and the front edge. I'm looking from the top, and that doesn't quite poke through. So I'm just gonna click on my numbers and adjust it till they do. Let's see what happens if I make this 50. And then I'm also gonna rotate it a couple degrees so it looks more even. And I'm gonna nudge this one forward so I can see it poking out the front. I like that, so I'm gonna grab the 2 and do Control I to intersect. Bang. Let's quickly change the color. Let's go pink. Let's go blue. Select them. L for align. Let's align them with wow this time. And I want it to be centered. And then I can click on my text, and I'm gonna move it 1 click forward. Bang. What a fun way to combine fantastic fonts, Sketch Revolve, and the Intersect tool. So as we wrap up, I do want to remind you, of course, check out the Reddit. It is a fantastic place to meet other Tinkercad users, share your designs, and also gain skills. Once again, I do want to highlight, love that we had a chance today to use Intersect. The way it combines with Sketch Revolve is pretty darn fantastic. I also love highlighting the way we can add awesome new fonts via your creations. Don't forget you can find all that using the bit.lys above. I would also really appreciate feedback on the process in the comments down below. A quick thank you as well to everybody that supports me via YouTube memberships. Don't forget there are 3 different levels of support starting as low as $5 a month. With any level of support you get early access to videos. Also make sure you pay attention for those members only posts. A massive shout out as well to everybody that supports me via Patreon. We are way past 500 members. It has a fantastic free messaging area where you can ask questions, post designs, gain skills. Of course, you can learn more with the bit.ly up above or the link in the description. Finally, friends, I want to thank you for watching. Don't forget every time you like, hype, share a video, add a comment down below, or click subscribe, you're helping HLModTech get just a little bigger, which absolutely makes my day. Friends, have a glorious day, and keep tinkering.